Hello? Is everybody ready? Has everybody had some food? So hello and good evening, and welcome to the Spirit of Manchester Awards 2022. And we're back together in person, which is excellent. And this is also the 10th Spirit of Manchester Awards. So Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, it's my very great pleasure to welcome you to the Spirit of Manchester Awards 2022. Celebrating Manchester's incredible volunteers, charities, community groups, faith communities, social enterprises, and basically the legions of people all around our city who believe that life can be better and are doing something about it. MAC is a charity which is here purely and simply for Manchester. Our job is to make more good stuff happen in Manchester. It's our job and our honour to support, encourage and celebrate the good and useful and amazing work of our local voluntary community and socialised enterprise sector, VCSE sector for short. Easier for some to say than me, clearly. We help set up new groups, develop existing organisations, find funding and resources, and encourage, cajole and challenge the whole sector. We help local people be active in their communities. We run the volunteer sector for Manchester. We bring local organisations together to collaborate and influence the City Council, the NHS, and increasingly working with colleagues all around Greater Manchester. MAC aims to be an active, influential and inspiring voice in the life of the city. Tonight is the highlight of our year. Tonight is when we invite you to join us, not just to applaud and to celebrate, but also to stand up and say what matters to us, to focus on the compassion, kindness and humanity that characterises our VCSE sector, to celebrate the beautiful diversity of Manchester's communities. What we celebrate tonight is people getting on and making their patch of the world a better place for everyone. Every time something has happened, the VCSE sector is there with practical action, with Mancunian gumption and organised kindness. It's an amazing ecosystem of human support. You really are incredible. This evening is all about hope. That's in all the stories you'll see and hear this evening. It seems it is needed more than ever. Now, you might be wondering where our Chief Executive, Mike Wilde, is. Unfortunately, Mike tested positive for COVID yesterday.
Well, that's not good. He's not been making it to the Spirit of Manchester Awards. There we are. Right, I'm up here. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Mike.
2.5 years. 2.5 years, and I finally get one of these things yesterday. Thank you, Roger, for that introduction and for welcoming everybody. I am so gutted that I'm not there with everybody in person. But I can see some of you on the screen, which is why I keep looking up at there. And it's so good to know that at least everybody's back together. So, let's get this celebration officially underway with our guest of honour. So it is my very, very great pleasure to introduce the Lord Mayor of Manchester, Councillor Donald.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely food. It was delicious. As the Lord Mayor of Manchester, I am delighted and honoured to be speaking to you at this year's Spirit of Manchester's awards ceremony. I believe this is a special Spirit of Manchester Awards, as this is its 10th anniversary and also the first live face-to-face event held since 2019. Wow. Doesn't it pass quickly? The past few years have been extremely challenging for all of us, and in particular for our most vulnerable residents in our communities. I have seen firsthand the vital role that Manchester's voluntary, community and social enterprise sector has played in supporting and helping those in need throughout the COVID-19 crisis. On behalf of Manchester City Council and myself, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your dedication and your commitment. As you know, we are all now facing another crisis, the cost of living crisis. As inflation continues to soar across the country, it is the north of England that is bearing the brunt, and particularly in towns and cities in Lancashire and in Greater Manchester. This crisis is widening the north-south divide, and research has shown that people living in Manchester are seeing their wages fall by an average of £130 a month due to the increase of the cost of living. This situation already is having a devastating impact on Manchester's residents, and it is going to get worse. I know that alongside the Council and other key agencies, Manchester's voluntary community and social enterprise sector will yet again rise to the challenge and help our residents and our communities cope through the provision of services, compassion and hope. I know that you will continue to work tirelessly to ensure that Manchester communities and residents have access to much needed support and services including food provision, care, shelter, well-being and mental health support. Please continue to do what you do. The Spirit of Manchester Awards are an established and high-profile celebration of the incredible work, commitment and achievements of organisations and individuals who tirelessly work for the benefit of Manchester and its diverse communities. I wish personally to thank and congratulate every person and organisation that has been nominated for one of this year's Spirit of Manchester Awards. I am proud to be associated with the Spirit of Manchester Awards, and I really do wish you all the success for the future. I'd just like to say just a few more words. In being the Lord Mayor for the last 4.5 months, I've seen the incredible work across Manchester. I used to hear about it, you know, other Lord Mayors and say, oh, yeah. And you really are the scaffolding that holds this city up. And without you, well, I don't know where we'd be. Because especially during COVID, there's little groups that set up these little communities, and they really have saved people's lives. It's absolutely crucial that you keep on doing this. And I know times are going to get harder for families in this city and Greater Manchester. So please carry on that great work you are doing. And I am recognising each and every one of you in this room for all that hard work and the dedication that you put in, day out, without any recognisation. You don't want recognisation. You don't want to. You go underground. You do it because you love your community or you love the residents that you are supporting. So please carry on that great work. And I'm so happy to be here to witness these awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I couldn't agree with you more. Right, so I think now Julian is going to come up just to introduce the venue. Julian is Director of Social Responsibility at the University of Manchester and a member of our Board of Trustees.
Thank you very much, Mike. Welcome everyone to the University of Manchester and to the wonderful Whitworth Hall where you are today. This building, if you've not been here before, I've spoken to lots of people, it's the first time you've been in here. It's very important in the city of Manchester. It opened in 1902, and it was opened by the Prince of Wales at the time, who later came to be King George V. And it's a Grade 2 listed building, and it takes its name after Sir Joseph Whitworth, who's left his legacy in all sorts of parts of Manchester. He's a very famous industrialist, so Whitworth Street, Whitworth Park, which is the university owns and leases back on a 999-year lease to the City Council, the Whitworth Art Gallery, of course. And when Whitworth died, he had the equivalent of £55 million in today's money he left to the development of our city. And that was used in part to construct this wonderful hall where we are today. And as well as being famous for where people graduate, I've graduated 3 times in this hall. My mum came late and she had to sit in the gallery up there for my undergraduate days. It's a site of celebration every year. It's a wonderful place for graduation. It's also famous for lots of other things. So, for example, when Einstein came after World War I, and relations between Britain and Germany were quite strained at the time, Manchester brought Einstein to Britain, and it really helped with repair relations between Britain and Germany. So it was in 1921 he did his first ever lecture in the UK. He did it in German, and we had lots of German staff at the time. So that's an interesting fact. We celebrated Rutherford when he split the atom. The party to celebrate him getting the Nobel Prize happened in here. This has been used for question time. It's been used for mastermind. Next week, we're going to install our new Chancellor, who takes over from Lem Sisay, who did 7 years. You become Chancellor, our ceremonial figurehead for 7 years each year. Next week, we install Nazir Afzal as our new Chancellor, so I'm really looking forward to that event. The most illustrious of all, of course, is it's the venue for the 2022 Spirit of Manchester Awards. So we're really pleased to host that. And I'm a trustee of MAC, so I see the excellent work, and I couldn't agree more with the Lord Mayor about the role of the VCSE sector and how proud I am personally about that. But as a university, with my university hat on, you might not know this, the university is a charity. We're one of the oldest charities in Manchester, and as a Manchester-based charity, we are still the largest charity that operates in the city. A lot of people don't think of us as a charity, but we're non-profit making, we have no shareholders, everything we do is for a social purpose. We also, through our main functions, really work closely with the charity sector. So I know lots of you here today will have lots of our students who will be volunteering for you, of course. We also, in terms of our education mission, we educate people who go on to work in large proportions each year in the charity and voluntary and social enterprise sector. We partner with the VCSE sector through our research. We incubate charities ourselves. Next door in our museum on the top floor, we incubate environmental and social justice charities. We also create our own through the work of our staff and students. So we're really proud of our relationship to the broader sector at the university. So it just leaves me now to say that a few bits of housekeeping. Toilets, if you need a comfort break during the evening, please feel free to do so. The toilets are downstairs. My little tip, there is one here. If there's not a queue, you can go. There's a much closer one there, but that's a bit of a secret. I didn't tell you that. Drinks, if you want to go to the bistro bar to get a drink, it's just through there. Please feel free to do that during the evening. In terms of emergency exits, we're not planning to have a fire alarm test. If one goes off, you need to take that seriously, and our staff are trained to be stewards, and they'll give you instructions about how to leave. In terms of photographs, we're delighted to welcome David McClenachan, taking pictures of our nominees and winners. David, can you wave wherever you are? David, yeah, so please be nice to him and smile. Get some good photographs, and thanks for coming along, David. In terms of interviews, Ben from Media Cubs is here. Where's Ben? Is he in here or is he next door? Ben's through there where they're pointing, and some of you will be asked to go and do some short interviews. And also, in terms of videos, we are webcasting this event. The camera, I think, is there. Is that right? Yeah? Hello, Mum, if you're watching. We can all, please feel free to share this. It's on the YouTube channel for this, I think, is just the Mac YouTube channel. So if you put Mac into YouTube, you'll find that, and you could share. If you've got people at home, any friends, relatives, partners, etc., please feel free to share the YouTube link with them, and they can join in your success tonight. And also, I've been told to make a special thanks to our own AV team at the university. When Mike went down with COVID last night, I had a heart attack thinking, well, we're deciding to host this, and we're going to look really silly, and it's going to be really difficult, and what are we going to do? We're going to have to make this up. But apparently today they've been working with colleagues here and allowing us to beam Mike into your room. So we're really looking forward to hosting this. And can I just say, lastly but not least, then good luck to everybody that has been nominated for an award tonight. To get there, I've been involved in judging this. I don't get involved now as a trustee, but just to say the standard is extremely high. So the very fact you're here tonight means you're already all winners. So well done, and I really look forward to enjoying the rest of the night with you all. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Julian. We're so grateful for the university's support in hosting us tonight. And as you say, I do want to pay tribute to Jeff and the AV team who've made some very, very last-minute changes for us, for which we're incredibly grateful because I decided to catch COVID. Anyway, as Julian mentioned, we're going to be sharing lots of stories tonight. We're broadcasting on YouTube. So if you're in the room or on the tube, I want to ask for your help. So please make sure your phone's turned
I would love it if we could get that trending on Twitter, for example. We've managed to get that to trend nationally almost every year, so let's try to do that again. Let's get everyone talking about Manchester, talking about communities and people and things that matter, and not just childish catchphrases like growth, 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 as if people and the planet don't actually exist. If you're on other things like Facebook or Instagram or other things I am simply too old to be aware of, please send your pics to our Spirit of Manchester page, tag them with Spirit of MCR 2022, anything like that that helps spread the word. We so want people to join in with this, because ultimately this is a part of. We're going to finish by 10 o'clock. I will do my best to keep us to a very strict timetable. So, as we said, and as you've seen on the videos at the start, this is the 10th Spirit of Manchester Awards. We started in 2013 and it became a programme that runs throughout the year to celebrate, recognise, tell people about the work of charities, voluntary organisations, community groups, community work of faith organisations and social enterprises all around the city. And this awards night is when all of that comes together and we capture those stories and share them with as many people as we can. All the communities and the people who are making it happen. This is the voluntary sector's annual party. But of course, that means it's also a campaign. MAC doesn't get funded to do this. We've committed to making it happen every year, but we try and do that through supporters and all the sorts of things that you're going to hear about later on. It's our way of showing what we believe is important and valuable about the work and the people you're going to hear about tonight. And we always try and strike a very careful balance with this event. It's in a beautiful venue. There's been amazing food, so I gather. I missed out on that as well. But this isn't a black tie dinner. This is a party. We're holding a celebration at a time when we know, as the Lord Mayor said, that many of our fellow citizens are struggling, and it's getting worse very, very rapidly. We're worried that people who are already struggling face outright destitution now. And even those who've been managing will be pushed into poverty, perhaps for the first time. Our organisations have to run food banks because people in this wealthy country somehow cannot afford to eat or have a decent place to live. We have to support many people who are in employment because that employment just doesn't pay the bills. We know there are families who come to this country because it offered hope of a better, safer life, and we don't turn our back on them. All those things are the things that our charities, our community groups and faith organisations all try and work on. But we help with the urgent need as well as trying to create change for the longer term, to fix the systems which create these problems. So tonight is a party to celebrate all the people who are trying to do all of that. And it's our call to get more people involved. But once tonight is over, we're back to work and back to the graft of the day job. So we're going to start off not with a single award, but with an enormous thank you. This is something that we started during 2020 when COVID was at its initial peak. This party is a fantastic platform for people to express their thanks to those who've made a difference. So what we did, rather than having all our categories of being competitive, we simply asked everybody to tell us who they wanted to say thank you to. Volunteers, good neighbours, anybody who stepped up to help others. You can read all the stories in full in the booklet, which is now on our website. And I'd like to say a big thank you to Townhouse Lettings and Will Collins for supporting this category. And here's a film about the people of Manchester. Some brilliant, brilliant stories in there. So now, a slight change to what we normally do. Normally we end the evening with our next award, but tonight we're going to start with the one award which is picked outright by our panel of judges. This is the Dr. Sylvia Sham Award for Contribution to the Sector. This award is for somebody who embodies all that's best about our sector: enthusiasm, creativity, bringing people together, and always wanting to do more. The award's named in memory of the winner at our 2015 event, Dr. Sylvia Sham, who was Chief Exec at YEN Society for many years. She was a friend, an inspiration, and a force of nature who sadly left us far too soon in 2016. A reminder that it's important to celebrate the people who inspire us when we have the opportunity. This award is supported by Essentialise, so can I invite to the stage to introduce the winner, Lee Chambers.
Good evening, Manchester. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you this evening, and a pleasure to be really announcing and being able to give tribute to the person who has made an outstanding contribution. And as Mike said, Sylvia was a beacon in our city, and even though she has left us, she still to this day, her energy, her commitment, her vision, her spirit still resonates around the city. It's a pleasure for us at Essentialise to sponsor this award. We are a for-profit company. We work in well-being and inclusion, and yet we have 3 pillars of social purpose that are contracted into what we do around advancing gender equity, supporting social entrepreneurs, and working with SEND schools to increase opportunities and the potential for disabled pupils to achieve even more than they already do. And what I want to say is it's a real pleasure to be able to announce the outstanding contribution to the sector in respect of Dr. Sylvia Sham. Tonight is Samantha Parson.
Okay, and now we're going to watch the film.
So for the last year, Sam has gone above and beyond to ensure that the young people have been affected as little as possible throughout the pandemic. So she's maintained contact via phone, email, WhatsApp with all the young people, so that it's been paramount that they've had somebody to support them through this difficult time, even to the point where she's continued to look for employment for them. She's looked at mental health services, but not just that, she's looked at their whole family unit as well. So it's not just about the young person, it's how she's been able to support the families throughout this pandemic as well. She's been with the organisation for quite a number of years. She was originally a teacher, and then she transferred over to the employability team as the work placement officer. So she has worked with a number of young people across the years, and they've all benefited from support, teaching and guidance from her. She is literally an all-rounder, to be quite honest with you. Whatever a young person needs in that support, Sam will go above and beyond to find it and support them to ensure they're on a positive pathway.
Fantastic. So, I just want to say something while we're talking about leadership. It's not about your job title, it's about stepping forward and speaking up. And an important thing I would ask everyone, something I'm particularly conscious of today, everybody who's getting any kind of leadership role is to acknowledge the need to look after yourself as well. As they say on air flights, make sure you fix your own oxygen mask first. So many of the people in our sector are feeling tired and weary after working so hard during recent years. Not just the work we do in our organisations, but on top of that, all the pressures of the seemingly endless round of crises has put on all of us. Responding to COVID, now trying to respond to the cost of living emergency, wondering how on earth we're going to support people, including our staff and volunteers, to get through all this. You're not alone. We can't fix all the things we'd like to fix, but we can support each other, and that is an important part of leadership at times like this. So, we are now going to talk a little bit about another topic that recurs frequently in the voluntary sector, money. I want to ask for your help. I'm not ashamed to say I am going to ask for some money, but only so that we can give it away. Now, normally, as part of our Spirit of Manchester programme, we do a bit of fundraising along the way for our Spirit of Manchester Fund. And this is to give out as grants to local community groups. You can find stories of the kinds of projects that we've funded on the Manchester Community Central website. Here's information about how you can donate. You can donate online through local giving. The link is being shared online now if you're watching, or it's on the screen. You can donate by text using Donor, D-O-N-R, which is a text giving service. So to make a one-off text donation for a £5, you'd text all capital letters Spirit of MCR space 5 to 70450. And if you wanted to change the amount, you can change the number 5 to 3 or 2 or whatever. Text cost, in that case, £5 plus one standard rate message, and you can text any whole pound amount between £1 and £20. So text Spirit of MCR space 20 to donate £20, and you can add gift aid to that, which increases your donation at no extra cost to you. And if you want to do it without getting all the marketing comms, you just add no info to Spirit of MCR. All the information about ways to give is on the cards on the tables, and it's all available on our website. We do this simply so that we can make more good stuff happen. That's a recurring theme this evening. I'm not ashamed of asking for money, because that's how stuff helps to happen, but it is all about the effort that people put in, and money just makes things a bit easier and a bit fairer as well. Another highlight of the awards every year has been the Spirit of Manchester Raffle. Now, we're now doing this online, because that's something that we learned last year. So to explain how it works and the list of fabulous prizes, please welcome, from the sun-drenched boulevards of Wigan, the Deputy Chief Executive of MAC, Mr. Martin Preston.
Thank you, Mike. It makes a point of this bit about me coming from Wigan. I do admit it, I own up to it. I am from the Principality of Wigan. It's my honour to do this every year. This is quite a bizarre one. I was just going to say, it's incredible what they've managed to pull off in terms of the AV team here. I didn't think this was possible. I still think it's a bit bizarre when my boss, there's a massive blow-up of him behind me, and he'll come on in a minute. He's actually in the room. He's behind this, if you want to shout. Okay, so, as Mike said, this is about trying to raise some money. And every year we do the raffle, so we've got an incredible 15 prizes. I'm going to go through some of the prizes. I'm going to go through them all because this might tempt you. We've got an Escape Reality Manchester, which is a game for up to 6 players at the Printworks in Manchester. Then we've got Team Sport Karting. It's one race session. I didn't know this, but apparently this is under the Manchester Arena car park. And according to the blurb, it's a 550-metre track, 15 nail-biting bends at speeds of up to 40 miles an hour. So if you get the bend wrong, you might end up on the Victoria train station platform. Then we've got Treasure Hunt Manchester, 4 people to play Treasure Hunt around Manchester. There's costs associated with these, but we won't go into it. My favourite one, this is the big one. It's a £20 Greggs voucher. I knew you'd like that. Tell we're from the north. I don't know if you've seen in the news, but Greggs have actually been putting up the prices. So just sausage rolls is going through the roof. At the beginning of the year, they were apparently £1.05 at the start of the year. Then they moved on to £1.10 in May, and now they're up to £1.15. So I've worked it out that you can still afford 17.39 sausage rolls with your £20 voucher. Who gets the 0.39, I don't know. We always get this. All I've got on Mike's bit is Blu-ray from Mike. Those who've been to previous Spirit of Manchester Awards will know that Mike donates a very bizarre DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, from his extensive and very strange collection. He can hear me, by the way, but he can't speak back, which is a good thing. This one, I had to say, is called, I know you all want it, I'll try and say this, it's called Ukcha. And Ukcha is a Blu-ray. It's a 2017 film about a young girl who risks everything to prevent a powerful multinational company from kidnapping her best friend. And this best friend is a fascinating beast called Ukcha. Sounds like a Chaz and Dave's track, if anybody knows that one. And that is a genetically modified super pig. And after the pig's taken to the United States, the young girl goes on an exciting mission to rescue her from the mistreatment at the hands of the meat industry. Ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is wow, and I wish I could win that one. I'm just hoping that Ukcha doesn't turn into sausage rolls. Then we've got a bottle of pink gin. We've got a bottle of gin that's not pink, but it's an incredibly rare, it's clear like water apparently. A £50 bike voucher from Leisure Lakes Bikes, a £100 one for all card, 2 beautiful shawls, a Jellycat plush toy from Hurricane Gift Shop in Chorlton. We've also got a beautiful hand-crocheted star blanket, and that's been done by a colleague, Sandra. I've seen it, and it is lovely, and it will brighten up any home and keep you warm at the same time, which is very handy when you're going to have to turn off the lights and the central heating this winter to save money. We've also got a £50 Zook tea bar and grill voucher, and I looked on the blurb with this one. They offer traditional Indian, Pakistani and grill dishes in a spotlit contemporary setting with banquets. It's on Chester Street in Manchester. We also have a Manchester United Football Club pennant and an Invisible Cities Manchester tour. We've been on this, some of myself and some colleagues went on. It was really interesting and exciting. They took you through the social history of Manchester, and there's also a print to go with that as well. So, all those fantastic prizes, I can see you all, you want to donate, you want to win these things, all for a very good cause. So all you need to do, there's details in the centre of all the tables, but please text in capitals SPIRIT22 and text it to 70331. Tickets are £3 each. I've got to do this bit as well. So text carry the set premium charge, and I'll do it quickly. And a charge at your standard network rate. If you have a cap set on your phone for extra usage charges, you will need to change this to cover the cost of the raffle tickets you buy. As well as the above raffle, we have a special night in prize, which we'll be drawing at the end of the evening. So everybody's names will be put into a box. I was going to say a hat, but it's a box. That'll be picked out, and somebody's going to win a one-off prize. We particularly like to thank Hope Direct Local CIC for being a major supporter of the Spirit of Manchester Fund over the years. A brilliant example of a social business that does deliveries, house and office clearances, who share their profits to create social impact. So please buy one of the £3 tickets at least. As I said, it's about supporting local projects which help local residents and communities. Please enjoy the evening and show your support in that way if you'd like to. I'd say that in terms of why should I buy one, you can basically buy it in memory of the fascinating genetically modified super pig, Ukcha. Or you can buy them for yourself or a loved one for Christmas, a birthday, a wedding gift, a wedding anniversary. Buy one for me because it's my 21st wedding anniversary next Tuesday. So if Dawn is watching, that's my wife online, I love you lots, and I think you should get a Spirit of Wigan Award for her commitment to me. And you can also buy one for Virtual Mike. I'm calling him Virtual Mike because he's not here. He doesn't know this, but I know that today he celebrates 19 years working at Mac, which deserves a round of applause. Virtual Mac looks about 21, but if you see him in real life, it's a totally different story. But yeah, please buy one for Mike. And I'd say it's 19 years where it's been virtually I'd say a very good career, yeah, with very few blemishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. It's a good job I was on mute during some of that. No, seriously, it's one of the highlights for me of hearing Martin go through the Raffle prizes, and I love the fact that the Greg's voucher got a massive reaction from everybody. There was actually a fight over that on Twitter last year, so definitely keep going. Please do buy lots and lots of raffle tickets because it's all part of the fun and celebration, but it does raise money for the Spirit of Manchester Awards. And I'm going to cut the pie joke that I had lined up for Martin. So we're going to leave that one for now. Right, so just now a quick bit about how the rest of the evening is going to work if you've never been before. So hopefully there are lots of people who've either not been to the awards if you're in the room or are watching it online for the first time. So hello everybody. Hello those who are watching on YouTube, a bit like I am in some ways. I need to explain how it works. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce categories of things that we've picked. These are things that we believe are important about the way that our sector works, and you'll be voting for the winners. So with these awards, we ask a panel of judges, independent judges, to produce a short list for you to vote on, because after we've got all the nominations in, we need to whittle it down a bit. So I would just like to take a moment to thank our judges. So Atia Chowdhury, Val Bayliss-Brito, Amanda Croom, Paul Newcomb, and in particular, Jez Myers, who has been the chair of our judging panel for all 10 Spirit of Manchester Awards. So this is his anniversary too. And to recognise that, we have a little prize for you, Jez. So can we just give Jez a big round of applause and welcome him up to the stage? We have a little present for you. And I'm sorry I'm not there to hand it to you myself.
You can't see it, but it's a handmade, isn't it?
Handmade bead
brooch.
It's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for
Thanks, Jez. So, thank you, as I say, to all the judges. We try and make their job more difficult every year. So, how this is going to work, how the voting is going to work, we're going to use a system called Slido, which is a very, very simple online poll. So what we'll do is I'll share a link to the voting page, and I really want you to keep that open for the rest of the event. We'll put the link up again if you close it by accident, don't worry. Just keep that open. You don't need to register or anything like that. You just go to this link that's there, or you can use the QR code, and you put in the code for the event, which is on the screen now, or it's in the YouTube chat. What we'll do is I'll introduce the category, we'll watch the film of each of the nominees, and then when I say go, you'll have about 30 seconds to tick which one you want to vote for, and they'll all be listed when you go onto the Slido survey thing. So we did use this last year, it worked okay, so I'm hoping everything will be fine this time. You'll have about 30 seconds and then we'll get the results and announce the winner. So to give you a chance to try it out, I want you to open up Slido now and log into the event code or use the QR code to go online. And hopefully you should see a little test question. And that test question is, where was the first Spirit of Manchester Awards held in 2013? Was it in Manchester Town Hall? Was it in Noma? Or was it in the Britain's Protection? So start voting now. Okay, a few seconds left. Hopefully everybody's been able to log in okay and see the options. So Manchester Town Hall, Noma, or the Britain's Protection. How are we doing? Okay. So if the system is working okay, we'll close it there, and I should get a result through with our WhatsApp group that's working on all this technical stuff in the background, and we'll see if this has worked. Okay. Oh. And 70% of you said Manchester Town Hall. Wrong. It was at Noma. We have never held the Spirit of Manchester Awards at Manchester Town Hall because we were just getting going and then they closed the Town Hall down for all the renovations. So one day it will happen. 20% of you said Noma, well done. 13% said the Britain's Protection. No. Even the very first one was a bit bigger than you could have fitted into the Britain's Protection, but no, it was at Noma, in the basement suite down there, and there's, as you'll have seen from those slides, there's pictures of me gradually getting older and older at these awards. So that's how it's going to work for the rest of the evening. You're going to just vote on each category using that system. So we will now start with our first category, which is Volunteer of the Year. I said that before that my job is to help make more good stuff happen. And the best bit of doing that is that at MAC, we get to meet so many amazing people who are doing fantastic things in our community, often with little or no recognition. So tonight, it's our absolute pleasure to introduce you to some of those people and those organisations. And where else would we start but with examples of some of the amazing volunteers who work in our organisations. Over 162,000 people in Manchester take part in volunteering every year, giving their time, their energy and their skills. That's almost a quarter of the local population. It's growing massively all the time. Times are hard, but more and more people want to do something to help. So you're about to meet some proper community heroes. So can I invite to the stage Amreen Boston, Shamrita Mandongwe, Steve De Asher and Ali Boulam. Let's give them a big hand while they come up to the stage. I know Amreen sadly can't be with us this evening. We'll invite them up to the stage. Everybody who's shortlisted is receiving a certificate. I'm watching this to see that everybody's making it up to stage. I don't know how long the walk is there, so have to give people time to get up to the stage. So while everybody's coming onto stage, let's start by having a look at the films.
My name is Amarine. I've been nominated for Volunteer of the Year 2022. I work with Rainbow Surprise and I feel so good, I feel so great, I feel so lovely. And the volunteering work is amazing, I like it, I enjoy it. And I do play scheme in Rainbow Surprise and other lovely events. And I would like to say thank you to Supreme Shaka for giving this a good opportunity to let me join the Rainbow Surprise past 8 years. So please vote for me for Volunteer of the Year, and thank you.
He's done fantastic work in the community, supporting residents who really need her help and support, especially during COVID. I've been out with Sharita delivering dozens of parcels to families who really needed the help during coronavirus, and without the lifeline of Sharita, I just don't know what they would have done.
Coffee mornings, parent forums, raising awareness, doing mountains of work for communities.
I cannot think of a more worthy individual than Sharita Mendongwe, or a more important charity than the Demob, who have delivered some of the most essential services to our most vulnerable Mancunians.
I have a daughter with special needs. It have not been easy for me. Sharita have made it her duty to help me.
We've heard some domestic violence issues too, and Sharita has always been there to help these families.
She works tirelessly and she's a true inspiration to so many people, putting so many smiles on people's faces. The world will be such a better place if we had a few more Sharitas in our life.
She is an absolute gem who shines a light in her community and other communities about how to unite people. She raises awareness of the unfair inequalities and oppression many people face in our society.
When I first met Steve, I could not believe how he was coping with the traumas and experiences with which he'd had in his life. As part of his treatment, I was very keen for him to begin the small steps of trying to get back into society, socialising with other people, and literally getting out of bed.
Steve began volunteering at Idebem North in July 2021. He was very anxious and had barely left the house in years. It was a real struggle for him to talk about his past and the loss of his best friend. Steve fought hard to overcome this and now regularly shares his stories and photos and helps other veterans to do the same. He always goes above and beyond, whether it's dressing up as Santa at Christmas, writing quizzes, or organising social activities. Steve volunteers in 4 different roles at the museum and has completed over 1,200 hours in the first year alone. He is dedicated, unafraid to show his emotions, and is an inspiration to everyone. Feedback from museum visitors frequently mentions Steve and the impact that his meaningful and poignant conversations have had on them.
Nothing's made me more proud than to see how Steve has progressed, grown and got better with his help with volunteering through the War Museum and his genuinely good nature and strong mental and physical ability.
Okay, so now we're going to ask you to vote. So, you know how this works now? You need to log into the... Is that okay?
No, Mike, we're missing the last video.
Oh, we've missed the last video. Okay.
Benim adım Ali Bulun. 3 yıldır burada gönüllü olarak çalışmaktayım. Türkiye'de kendi işim vardı. Burada da arkadaşlar bana her konuda yardım ediyorlar. This is Ali Bulun. I'm working as a volunteer more than 3 years at here. I had my own business in Turkey, but They really help me here and they teach me everything. I love my job. I like helping people. Helping people makes me happy.
Right, that was the last video, yeah? So, now we're going to ask you to vote. So, you know how this works? Onto Slido, and you'll have about 30 seconds to click for the person that you want to vote for, and then we'll tot up the scores and announce the winner. I can't see the screen to know whether the timer's finished on it. So I'm hoping that everybody's had a chance to vote and that the result is being calculated. So the result should be being brought up to the stage now, I think. Somebody coming up with an envelope.
Shall I do it?
Yep.
Okay.
Over to you, Martin, to announce the winner.
The winner of the Volunteer of the Year 2022 is Steve de Asher.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Steve. Right, so we are now on to the next category. I think we had all the photos.
One more, please.
Oh, I think we're just having a few more photos done. Right. Well, while they're doing photos, I'll just tell you a little bit about the trophies that you can see. So Steve's holding one of those, and the others are all on the table. Those trophies are specially made for us by Ella McIntosh, who's made, I think, all the trophies that we've ever had at the Spirit of Manchester Awards. They're made of pewter. And she designs a special one for us every year, so they're completely unique and they're fantastic So we're very grateful to Ella for the time and talent that she puts into those. Right, I think we're now ready to go on to the next category, which is volunteering team. So, Volunteering Team Award is one we introduced because we started getting nominations from teams of volunteers who come together and deliver fantastic work as a group. Perfect illustration of the power of collaboration, people pooling their skills and talents to work together on a shared cause. So, start with the clapping. Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage nominees from Being There, COVID Volunteer Marshals, and All FM. And while everybody's just coming up to the stage to get their certificates, let's start showing the films.
The charity supports people who have cancer and other life-limiting illnesses. We rely on volunteers. Without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to run the service at all.
I've been with Being There for just over 12 months. They've always been there for me when I've had such a lot of hospital visits. They've always been there, they've waited for me, or I've rang them up and they'll come and pick me up and take me home. It's been a marvellous service.
I look after Eileen, I call her my friend now. She's been ill for about 4 years now, so I shop for Eileen. For a year or two before she became housebound, we would stop at Marks and Spencer's. She showed me how to route to the back of the rows of cooked meats and pick out the ones with the latest date. So I am her best shopper. I get a lot more out of it than I put into it. I just come here, have tea. It's like meeting up with old friends. I just think it's a real privilege to be able to do that.
The COVID called for one and all a shout out to us Manx to help the cause and volunteer so folks could get their backs. A friendly face and light relief from lonely lockdown blues. A welcome smile to pass the while, so many warm thank yous. Plant Hill, Beswick, Newton Heath, the Irish centre boss. Across this city people gave and did not count the cost. The ebb and flow of life we know in gloves and plastic masks. Frozen cold our hands and toes, but gave up not a chance.
I wanted to play a part in helping all of us become safer during the pandemic.
Helping other people to get their vaccinations was just the best experience ever.
I've got great reward from it, satisfaction particularly, about how we're helping to stave off this evil virus.
We set up the radio research group to find out what the barriers are, what stops women and girls from training up as radio producers and presenters. We found out one of the most common barriers to women is low confidence. In fact, one woman in the radio research group said, radio isn't for us, the lesser people. How do we overcome these gigantic barriers? Well, at All FM, we got funding to put on some women-only radio training courses. You probably know this already. Girls and women work well as a collective. Problems are easier to sort out together. The overall message from the radio research group is that when women talk about empowerment, they say they only feel truly empowered when they can help others.
I felt I belong there. I feel like I belong here too.
Thank you for listening. Women on the mic, what's not to like?
Okay, I think that's all the videos. I can't actually see them at the moment, so I'm having to listen carefully. Time to vote again. Just a reminder, you are voting on Slido, so if you can open that now. If you've not got it open, the link should be up on screen or on YouTube, on Twitter, or wherever you're watching it from. You should be able to see a link. You're just voting on this one thing, because each one is a separate little question that pops up after we've done the last one. So don't worry if you can't skip ahead to other ones. You're just voting on this one award at the moment. So I'm going to say start voting now. So one of the things we've just worked out that is causing a bit of an issue is that YouTube is about 40 seconds behind live. And if we're giving you 30 seconds to vote, that means that voting has basically finished the moment the people on YouTube actually get to hear about it. So I'm going to just leave it open for a moment. So ignore the timer that's on the screen if you're in the room. We're just going to leave the voting open until I basically say stop. So make sure that everybody's got a chance to vote if they're watching online. Okay, just hoping we'll get a bit of feedback. Apologies to people who've missed out on voting so far. We are going to try and fix that. Right, so voting should still be going on. Let's see what the numbers are looking like. This music's very dramatic. I feel like I should be going around with a torch, like searching for something. Possibly later. I don't know. Right. I think that's probably been plenty of time. Hopefully, lots of people have had a chance to vote now. We are going to draw it to conclusion there for this one. And we have a winner. So, for this one, I'm going to invite up to the stage Dr. Julian Skirm to announce the winner of this award.
The winner of the Spirit of Manchester Volunteering Team Award 2022 goes to, can we have a drum roll? All FM.
Fantastic. Congratulations to everyone at All FM. It's a brilliant, I love this award when we're able to celebrate people who've just done things as a team. It's great. Collaboration is one of the things that's most important to us as MAC. And just as a little bit of extra news around volunteering, I'm hopeful in the next few weeks we'll be announcing a new round of our Volunteer Expenses Fund, thanks to a very generous donation that we've received. So watch out for that in our email bulletins. It'll be small grants to help organisations pay the expenses of people who give their time and talents for free. Really, really chuffed we're able to do that again. So the next category is volunteer involving organisation. Obviously, encouraging people to get involved in volunteering means it's important that the organisations they work in support and cherish those people who are giving their time and energy for free. Volunteering effort is freely given, but it needs to be supported and nurtured. And this requires resources. It needs money. That's why, we're doing things like the Volunteer Expenses Fund. Volunteering is not cost-free. We need to enable more people to have access to volunteering opportunities. But one of the most important roles in any charity or community group is the person who looks after the volunteers. This award highlights groups which set an example and keep the people who volunteer at the heart of what they do. So can I invite to the stage the nominees from George House Trust, Manchester Youth Zone and City in the Community. Yes, and while they're coming onto the stage, let's see the films.
George House Trust supports over 2,000 people every year, and it couldn't do this without the support of its dedicated team of volunteers.
I was mentored by Yvonne. After we completed, she said, I think you'll be able to do this. I was like, no, I don't think I have the confidence. I don't think I can. If you say the word HIV, I don't think I can, help someone mess up. She was like, no, I think you'll be good at it. And I came to the sessions, had the training, that little push, stepping out of my comfort zone. I was like, yeah, let's do it and see how it goes.
As a long-standing volunteer at George House Trust, I was invited to participate in Manchester Pride Parade, getting to represent the charity, but also represent people living with HIV, being at the forefront of Manchester Pride Parade with that banner, with my partner next to me, smashing the stigma and making sure HIV holds no one back.
This year, I became Volunteer of the Year.
My favourite part about volunteering is getting to meet some really enthusiastic people. My favourite part about volunteering at the Youth Zone is being able to get involved with the young people, like actually delivering the task that was delivered, but then also getting involved and playing with them on the foosball or ping pong or Uno. Volunteering helps us to improve staff morale because it's a chance to get out and engage with colleagues in a completely different way. So you get to meet people you might not usually encounter at work and get to know them outside of the normal day-to-day office life. By volunteering at Manchester Youth Zone, you're given an insight into the experience of the kids that are living around here, and that, I think, encourages more people to get involved.
Hi, I'm Paul Kelly. I'm the Disability Lead Coach at City in the Community. I've been in the foundation for over 15 years. I started off in the inaugural volunteer programme, progressing to a casual coach and then part-time contract to full-time.
9320 is a volunteer programme that's led by young people who've been on our programmes, local young people in our communities, and it gives them a chance to come and volunteer on our programmes and also get mentored by some of our coaches.
The volunteer programme is so relevant because it gives the opportunity for participants and people from the community the pathway to employment like myself.
CITC rely on volunteers to keep our programmes fresh, but also make sure that we're bringing young people from the local community into our programmes because essentially they know the community better than most, and it also gives them an opportunity to find focus and inspire the other young people in their communities.
Fantastic, thank you. Hopefully everybody's getting a hang of this. So again, into Slido. Hopefully you've still got that open, but the link is available if you've not. And I'm going to ask you to start voting now. So George House Trust, Manchester Youth Zone, City in the Community. Hopefully everybody's voting away on Slido. While we do that, I'm just going to say something quick about volunteering. The word voluntary means by choice. By definition, volunteering is not and cannot be compulsory. In the last few days, we have heard once again attacks on welfare support and the idea of people being required to work to keep their entitlements. Now, you can call me part of the Anti-Growth Coalition if you wish, but if somebody is being paid to do something, call it a job. If they're being supported because they are out of work or can't work, call it a social safety net. And if somebody is giving their skills and time for free, you call it volunteering and nothing else. MAC supports the Keep Volunteering Voluntary campaign. We refuse to take part in any schemes which force people into volunteering in order to keep their welfare entitlements. And we would encourage everybody in the voluntary sector and the public sector to do the same. Volunteering is by choice. Okay, so I think we should be slowly heading towards a result. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to vote. I think we're finding that leaving it open for about 90 seconds gives people on YouTube a chance to vote while they're playing catch up. So we have a winner. So Martin, do you want to tell us who the winner is?
Thanks, Mike. Drum roll, please, just as Julie managed to get going. The winner of the Spirit of Manchester 2022 volunteer involving organisation is George House Trust.
While the photos are being taken, congratulations to George House Trust. I know Darren, my friend Darren, is there, so I would imagine he'll be celebrating. So just a couple of quick messages. I can see some interesting conversations have broken out about the Greggs voucher on Twitter. You know who you are, even the medically qualified ones amongst you. And I'd just like to encourage everybody who's watching to say thank you. You know, if there's somebody you want to say thank you to on social media, you know, a group that you've worked with, or somebody that you've supported, or somebody who supported you, and you just want to share it this evening. It's a great time. You have a space in which to name people who've meant a lot to you and to say thank you to them. Who's getting dinner brought to them on stage? Well done, Anna. Very good. I didn't arrange anything like that. I should have thought of that. Right. So yes, please do share on Twitter, Spirit of MCR22, anyone you want to say thank you to. And another thing that's going on this evening is obviously October is Black History Month. And at MAC, over the last 18 months or so, we've been looking at how we can be a more proactively anti-racist organisation. Staff and trustees have been working together along with lots of our member organisations and partners. On our website, you'll see we've created some new resources showing what's happening around Black History Month in Manchester. So events, stories of prominent figures in Manchester's black communities, organisations to engage with and support. And we're starting to do more of these throughout the year. So we did one on South Asian Heritage Month back in July. You can watch out, there'll be some video interviews over the next few weeks as well. Those of you who are actually in the room tonight might well have noticed that all of our tables are named after black Mancunians. Everyone in the MAC team has helped put together the stories about each of them. And we're doing this because we want to be absolutely clear. MAC is here for all of Manchester's communities, and we're doing what we can to amplify voices, to educate ourselves, and to keep conversations about race on the agenda, including within our own sector. So, you know, it's an important ongoing theme for us that we are definitely committed to keeping going about. And that leads into our next category, which is about tackling inequalities. This is one of the running themes we've had every year at the Spirit of Manchester Awards. Mac believes that one of the most fundamental roles of charities, community groups, voluntary organisations is to promote equality, celebrate diversity and challenge discrimination. Manchester is a city with a proud history on many of these issues, but there is always more we can do. We saw during COVID, didn't we? Those deep-rooted inequalities revealed like never before. I was appalled last week to see that the government has apparently decided to abandon the white paper on health inequalities. It's yet more evidence of a massive disconnection between national political decisions, taking money away from those with the least to give to the wealthy, continuing to belittle people who are standing up for rights and fairness and justice as being woke, and continuing to ignore the people who are speaking truth to power about things like poverty, violence against women and girls, deep-rooted structural racism in so many of our institutions. If we are going to build back better, a bit of honest listening by politicians of all persuasions would be a very good place to start, and not childish name-calling like Anti-Growth Coalition. Fortunately, we are very lucky that Manchester is committing as a city to address inequalities with its Making Manchester Fairer plans. There's a launch coming up at the end of the month. We very much support this, and we're working with colleagues in the City Council and the Health Service around this. So this award, we asked for nominations of groups working on one or more issues such as race, disability, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, faith, or other issues for which people experience discrimination. So can you please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the nominees from Hideout Youth Zone, Revive CIO, and the Reaching Communities team at Cheetham Hill Advice Centre. And while they're coming up to the stage, let's start the films.
I am here to tell you about how great Hideout is. It has everything you've ever needed. So many kids love this place to come and have fun.
Hideout are very supportive with children with additional needs.
Hideout created Sunday Club Socials, which is a monthly day dedicated to tackling struggles with interaction, communication and confidence in social situations.
It's where we all get together and a Saturday every month, and we do a fun activity for 2 hours.
We also run projects like the Figure Out Challenge, which helps develop life skills.
Hello Hideout, we are making cookies and pizza and we're getting all the stuff. Mamma mia!
I just find the place absolutely amazing.
The best thing ever known. My son comes to Sunday Club, it's brought out his confidence, it's just a really good place.
Revive specialises in supporting refugees and asylum seekers, either making immigration representation or helping them deal with social work issues. Anybody that walks through this door is listened to, their concerns are taken seriously, and we all work together as a team.
It has made a huge difference to my life. My mum was a victim of domestic violence. One thing that she said to me is, I don't want you to live the life that I did. So her emphasis was always education. Revive has played an important part in making sure that I complete my education. Despite that I couldn't get the loans, as an asylum seeker, they helped me get the scholarship, and now I will be starting my second year in biomedical sciences. I want to give back to this country what it has given me.
You know, when people come here, it's very easy to see how low they are. And once you start to work with them after a few weeks and you start to get success and you start pulling services together that works in their favor, then you could see the confidence start to ooze again in them, and you could see the smile back in the face.
I love everything about Revive. They're such a cute team. They're so sweet and kind. They treat you as a family. They are my family now.
One of the most common issues we deal with is helping people navigate the benefit system, making sure they get the money that they're entitled to. We also deal a lot with sort of debt, housing issues, quite a few immigration issues as well.
Because I speak so many local languages, clients get the opportunity of being advised in their own languages. I was a refugee myself, I understand what it feels like to claim asylum, be refused, go through the whole asylum process.
It's also basically helping people know that they have someone that can fight on their side. The systems that they deal with are often confusing.
I always wonder that people who don't come to us, how do they survive the benefit system?
So basically empowering people to understand what's going on, knowing they've got somewhere on their side to fight for them, that I think means a great deal.
We do so many things, and I think I've worked in a lot of places, but this is the best place I have ever worked in. Honestly, I get so much satisfaction from working here.
No, that was the last video. Sorry, I couldn't quite hear that. Right, so sorry. Yes, right. Okay, playing catch up again. Right, so we are now going to do the voting for the Tackling Inequalities award. So hopefully you can see the Slido link, and we will start voting now. So Hideout Youth Zone, Revive CIO, and the Reaching Hill Communities team at Cheetham Hill Advice Centre. So hopefully everybody is now voting. And just while voting, I'm going to invite up to the stage. So this category is actually supported by Manchester Health and Care Commissioning, which no longer exists and is now called Manchester Integrated Care Partnership. At least I think that's what it's called. As we get ready to announce the winner, could you please welcome to the stage David Regan, the Director of Public Health for Manchester. I think, do we have the results? No, okay, so results, yep. I think we're done with the voting, and a result is coming to you now, David.
Thanks, Mike. I'm delighted to announce that the winner of the Tackling Inequalities Award is the Hideout Youth Zone.
Congratulations, Hideout. I wanted to see David Regan throwing some shapes as well then. No, he's not up for that. Okay. Great. Oh, I love that. So now we are just going to nip over to our social media desk for the first time. So please welcome one of my wonderful Mac colleagues, Helen Walker, who's here to share the feedback from our social media top team. Helen, over to you.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah? Great. So, I like being a top media team, I like this. There's me, there's just not just me, and there's two colleagues in the side room who are monitoring YouTube and Twitter. So if you want to thank anybody tonight, please put it on Twitter or YouTube, and we will pick it up, and I will be back later to bring you some more messages, but just have some messages. First one is from Emmy at YouTube. Good luck, everybody. You're all amazing winners in our eyes. Charlton girl, really enjoying watching along on YouTube. Love the Spirit of Manchester 22 awards. Just amazing, inspirational people, the best of Manchester. Shannon Fitzgerald, excited to be watching the awards. Proud to have seen a shout out from Manchester Food Bank for their amazing work in the Manchester community. Manchester Young Lives, very proud to have Sam, who was the winner of the first award tonight, as part of the team at Manchester Young Lives. Such a well-deserved award for an all-round wonderful person who continually goes above and beyond to make sure young people get the right support. Well done. A couple of messages from Tom, who I can see sitting in front of me in the audience here tonight, who's now been is really shy. It's good to be at the Spirit of Manchester 22, recognising the amazing work volunteers and voluntary groups do across the city of Manchester. Thanks on behalf of the residents of Manchester. And another one from Tom, wishing Jess the best for this evening at the awards for her advice with stroke survivors, and that's Jess, who works for Citizens Advice Manchester. Hayley from YouTube, thank you to being there, and my dad, Jeff Boardman, for all your hard work. And Being There Charity, thank you to all the Being There volunteers and to everybody volunteering across Greater Manchester Stars, the lot of you. We've got a tweet from George House Trust, who we've just seen, win an award. This is amazing news. Thank you to all our dedicated, passionate volunteers who support our work, and to everyone who voted. We were in such good company with the other nominees. Thank you for a fantastic event. And lastly, Gillian, well done to everybody nominated tonight, and congrats to all the winners so far. So you will be coming back to me at the end of the evening, so please get on your phones, onto Twitter, and thank who you want to, and we'll read them out later. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Helen. I've noticed I'm looking down on everybody in a slightly scary way. I think there's been some comments about that on Twitter. This is one of the things that we've kept from when we had to do this over COVID. The interaction with social media is much more fun. So what we're going to do now actually is have a break. We are actually running slightly ahead of time, so we've got time for a decent break. You can go to the bar and buy a drink. Mine's a Lemsip. Or you can buy some more raffle tickets, or you can just have a chat with people, congratulate people who've won awards, and again, think of more things to celebrate and share stories of. So it's now just coming up to 10 past, so if we reconvene at 8:30, and we'll start again then. So back with you in 20-odd minutes. We start again.
Could you please start making your way back to your seats and tables, please, so we can carry on? 5 more awards to present. Where was that one? I wanted to do. Where's the one where... And while I've got the microphone, can I thank Akeem, who's donated an extra prize to the raffle, and it's a £25 Trafford Centre voucher. Thank you, Akeem. So could you please remember to text Spirit 22 to 70331.
Okay, welcome back everybody. I hope you all had a chance to get a drink and there wasn't too long a queue at the bar or anything like that. We are running slightly ahead of time, so I'm going to try and keep that up if we can, so everybody can get away a bit earlier. So, on with our next award, which is Inspiring Campaign. So, this award is for the most successful campaign, innovative campaign, inspiring. It's always been our belief that voluntary and community groups have not only the right, but the duty to speak out about what's happening in communities. And as they used to say on catchphrase, say what you see. Every year, I say this is never more important. And once again this week, we have seen MPs accuse charities of dabbling in politics. I saw one MP accuse people of setting up food banks just to themselves feel good. Doesn't that sound like the response of somebody who just doesn't want to listen? Well, like many of you in the room, I am bloody proud to be a do-gooder, and everybody I know in our sector will keep calling out failures of policy and decision-making. We respond to the immediate need and we try to address the causes of those needs. Progress in this country has been driven by the campaigning efforts of groups in the voluntary, community, charity, faith sector for centuries. At its best, it changes public attitudes, not just government policy. It's part of the way our community and the way our democracy works. It has a longer, prouder, and much more transparent history than some of the so-called think tanks, which now masquerade as charities. This award is about cherishing those campaigns, those voices which have inspired other people to do what they can and make a difference. So, time to start clapping again. Please welcome to the stage the nominees from KYSO, MASH, and Hits Radio Cash for Kids. Everybody make it their way to the stage. No? I think my connection dipped a bit then. Right. Hopefully we can now, if you can still hear me, if we can now play the films.
KYSO Project CIC is a youth group that tries to mitigate disadvantage but also looks at talented young people across Greater Manchester. One of the ideas that came from the young people was around seeing too many homeless people on the streets of Manchester, and one of the things I wanted to look at was around us getting some items, hats, gloves, scarves, that we could get to bring around Manchester to support the homeless people. And we actually went round to various communities in Manchester, so we bought loads of items, and the young people's idea, their initiative, and they went round and found people that didn't have these items, and they were able to support the homeless, and that came from the young people. I was really proud and impressed, because that's inspiring. You know, not often young people get to have a voice and lead because adults sometimes make the decisions for them, but the young people led on this one, they decided and they made it work, and it worked fairly well.
So 2021 was a date we've talked about for a long time. 30 years of MASH supporting women in Manchester. We had all these plans about how we could celebrate and mark that milestone, and all of them basically had to go by the wayside because of COVID. So this is where 30 for 30 was born. Our community taking on incredible personal challenges all around the theme of 30 and raising vital funds for MASH. We had 30-mile bike rides, 30,000 steps, 30-kilometre walk our volunteer did to MASH shift, and Annie, our CEO, and her son Billy did 30 challenges, one for every day of September. Honestly, we were completely bowled over by how people showed up, the massive personal challenges they set themselves, and how they went out there and gathered the support of their friends and family. It was just an incredibly moving way as we mark 30 years of MASH.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess and I'm the charity manager at Hits Radio Cash for Kids. We are a grant-giving charity helping the children that need it most across Greater Manchester. Every November we launch our Mission Christmas Toy Appeal, which aims to make Christmas Day special for thousands of children living in poverty right across our city. For so many local families, Christmas is a luxury they simply can't afford, but that's where Cash for Kids Mission Christmas comes in, so that we can take away their financial worries, give them special memories, and give those children something that they can call their own. We rely on the amazing support of people in Greater Manchester to collect and donate gifts that we can give to children in time for Christmas morning. Thanks to the amazing generosity of our city, last year we collected over £1.1 million worth of gifts, which we then distributed to over 35,000 children in our local community in time for Christmas morning. And as a small team of 3 at Hits Radio Cash for Kids, we honestly could not do this without your wonderful support.
You see how hard these decisions are, how difficult it is to make all these choices about which one to vote for. So, time to vote again. Hopefully everybody's got access to the Slido link, and I'm going to ask you to start voting now. So for CAISO, sorry I got your name wrong earlier folks, MASH, Manchester Action on Street Health, and Hits Radio Cash for Kids. And just while everybody's voting, I'll just say hello to some people I happened to see on the webcast earlier. So some friends who I'm really missing seeing. I've noticed Sefton is there, former colleague from Mac. Great to see you, mate. Hopefully we'll see each other in the real world one day. So Mags and Ruth and Val, of course. Val is always there. I don't know how she does it. She's gets around everywhere. So lovely to see some old friends and old faces. Not old faces, I didn't mean old faces. Old familiar faces. Okay, so hopefully we're getting near to a result. We're going to invite to the stage to announce the winner. Jess War from the Our Manchester VCS Fund team, one of our great colleagues who we're working with a lot at the moment on getting the Our Manchester VCS Fund through. Deadline's next week if anybody hasn't finished their bid yet. Up you come, Jess. And hopefully we have a result.
Hi. And the winner of Inspiring Campaign is CAISO.
Congratulations, fantastic. Well done to Kaiso. So, yeah, I think we're now going to move on to our next category, which is creative community spirit. So one thing that really struck us during COVID was the amazing range of groups using art and creativity to support others and the community around them. And the importance of culture in our communities became so clear. Could you imagine if we all had to get through lockdown without musicians and artists and comedians and actors and all the staff behind them? And, you know, we knew what pressure they were under at the time. Culture isn't just about the big venues or the big institutions or the cultural industry, or even culture with a capital C. It's about what happens in those small, informal community settings where people are making things and enjoying culture. So we asked people to tell us about local individuals or groups who've developed a creative outlet or a project that inspires hope and brings people together. So put your hands together while we welcome to the stage the nominees from Unity Arts, Afro Cats, and Trees and Tassels. Okay, and while they're coming to the stage, let's start playing the films.
Unity Arts evolved from an anti-racism arts and music festival in Chorlton Park and brings community workers together with artists to use creativity to challenge inequality and remove barriers. In April 2020, we began a 2-year intergenerational project funded by Young Manchester and Curious Minds called 20N21. Linking up with the Whitworth Art Gallery's age-friendly programme, the plan had been for a series of face-to-face art activities. Lockdown made that impossible. A new programme was drawn up utilising quickly learned online skills and tools, and Unity artists worked with older people from age-friendly Whitworth and then ran workshops with young people, both online and in person. The project culminated in an exhibition at the Whitworth's School of Creativity.
is a female and black-led charity that supports people who face social exclusion in Greater Manchester. We work closely with the communities and people that access our projects to co-create inspiring experiences and opportunities. Together, we address and dismantle inequality by identifying and breaking down barriers. Our vision is a robust and more inclusive social environment for asylum seekers, refugees and diverse young people. But don't just take my word for it, hear what the people we support have to say.
Afro Cats makes me feel more confident.
A sense of belonging.
Afro Cats makes us feel united together.
Afro Cats makes me feel like I actually feel happy outside of school, and it just helps my social life and help me mentally and physically, and it's just a joy doing these meetings.
I started dialogue with one of the tenants from the older field house. One of those tenants had expressed to me how much the lockdown had affected the community directly there. The reduced communication and the kind of isolation had left quite an eerie sort of effect on the estate. We started to talk about what could we do that would engage the people, bring everybody together and brighten up the streets, so to speak. And then Sean spotted these tassels. They learned a skill, they created something, they made it very quickly, so there was a sense of achievement. That's a really good thing for people to experience, that they can do it, and that it looks good, and that they're participating, and that the accumulation of all of these independently made pieces are going to come together and make a really nice big impact, which they have done.
Okay, I think we're back on, aren't we? Fab. Thank you. Right, so voting time again. So onto Slido and start voting now. So Unity Arts, Afro Cats, Trees and Tassels. And just responding to a few messages I've seen on Twitter, I am so sorry about the old faces comments. It wasn't intended that way. I've clearly landed myself in some hot water with some friends of mine there, so I didn't mean it like that. And I was the one who had videos of me aging slowly over 10 years at the start of the evening, so. Anyway, there you go. So, yeah, while everybody's voting, this category is being supported by Media Cubs. So there are people in the room who are doing some interviews with people tonight and helping us, capture stories and celebrate. So I think coming up to the stage, we have Grace and Ben. I think we're supposed to be being joined by Sam as well, but anyway, welcome them up to the stage. Oh, is it just Ben? Right. Have we got a result? Yep, I think it's coming to you now.
The winner of the Creative Community Spirit Award is AfroCab.
Fantastic. Well done, AfroCats. Right, next category, partnership and collaboration. This is another thing that we really believe in. Like I said, collaboration is one of the things we value most at MAC. Encouraging people and groups to work together is part of what this event is all about. It's common sense, isn't it? We've got scarce resources we need to share. But by working together, we're not just able to be more efficient, we're more effective and more creative. We saw so much brilliant working together as the COVID emergency unfolded, and we absolutely mustn't lose that, both within our sector, but also in our collaborations with public bodies in the private sector. No single body, no single organisation has all the answers, and we should bear that in mind as we respond to the cost of living emergency. We've seen collaboration, thinking and acting like an ecosystem is incredibly powerful. So this award celebrates organisations who've built brilliant creative partnerships. So put your hands together and welcome to the stage the nominees from Hideout Youth Zone, Caritas Connecting Older People, and Oliver Sykes Stories of Care. As they come up to the stage, let's start the films.
My name is Richard Taylor. I've been working for Manchester Camerata with these fantastic guys who you've seen, the Hideout Youth Zone Choir from Gorton.
I've just said so I'm really shocked, it was amazing.
Incredible. Fantastic. It was so special.
My name is Marique and I just performed at the Home Ground Festival and it was a really good time, I enjoyed it.
It was really, really fun and I really enjoyed it.
I think it's really important to encourage arts and culture in the community because it gives young people that kind of freedom of expression and a voice.
A collaborative approach where we really work and team up with the young people to create what they want and give them their voice. You really see people's confidence grow. We can't wait to continue our relationship with Hideout and really looking forward to seeing how we can create long-lasting impacts to the young people of the local community.
NEFRA is very blessed with the partnership that we have at Caritas. We've worked together for many years over many different projects. Best thing that comes out of it is that we're able to build upon each other's skills that we have, referrals that we can make into each other's services, therefore giving us a greater reach across the area.
But from the pandemic and now coming into this club, I just feel different altogether. I just feel happy,
change your life,
relaxed and happy. And I think with Debbie and Sam, I just think they're so lovely personality-wise, and so helpful, and I just feel like they're family, real family. And I actually love the Pamper Day. I wish it could go on forever.
Stories of Care Chapter 2 empowered marginalised young people from care-experienced and low-income single-parent backgrounds to tell their own stories and become creative leaders. We collaborated with 18 partners delivering a children's writing and professional development programme, one brand new children's anthology, one debut children's novel and a one-person stage show which toured nationally. We asked the people involved to sum up the project in 3 words.
Bold, brave, beautiful.
Inspiring, empowering, and for me personally, wonderful.
Inspiring, expansive and important.
Empowering, enlightening and fantastic.
Fantastic, engaging, inspiring.
Woo! There you go. Proud, give me something to look forward to.
Accepting. I'd say life-changing, even though it's double-barrelled. Imaginative.
I don't know about the 3, but maybe 1. Okay. Which would be life-changing.
Fantastic, thank you so much everybody. Right, time to vote again. You know how this works now. So on to Slido and start voting now. Hideout Youth Zone, Caritas Connecting Older People and Oversight Stories of Care. And just a reminder, if you're on any social media, if there's anybody you want to say thank you to, please say it now and copy us in, and we'll hear from Helen later on about how things are going. I think we should be getting somewhere. So this award is supported by the Our Manchester VCS Fund team at Manchester City Council. So can I invite up to the stage Kieran Barnes, the manager of the Our Manchester VCS Fund team. One of the people we collaborate with a lot. Okay. I think, yep, I believe we have a winner. Doing a roll on the drums.
Keep it going, let's keep building it up. Thanks everyone. I'm delighted to announce that the winner of Partnerships and Collaboration Award this evening is Caritas Connecting Older People.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Oh, I'm so missing not being there in person, getting the atmosphere in the room and just seeing everybody. Oh, never mind. Don't go there. Right. Next category is service user involving organisation. This is based on one of the very principles that MAC was founded on in the early 80s. As well as involving volunteers, we've always believed very, very strongly that those who benefit from a service should be directly involved in the design and delivery of the service. They're the people who know best what will make the difference. I'm afraid we saw the other day what happens when you stop listening. The panorama feature on the Edenfield unit in Prestwich showed horrific abuses of power by staff who are supposed to provide care. And fundamentally what happened boils down to a failure by management to ensure that a culture of involvement and engagement exists. You have to listen to people, you have to include them in it. It's not just about providing services at people. This award is about celebrating organisations who get it right and design it into the way they operate at every level, from their board to the shop floor, breaking down the barrier between the provider and the user. This is something we talk to the public sector about a lot, but it's important that voluntary organisations work in this way too. So, applause time again. Please welcome to the stage Caritas, Cornerstone and Morningstar Homeless Services, Manchester Action on Street Health, MASH, and Manchester Deaf Centre. And please show your appreciation for the Deaf Centre in the way that will mean most to them. Okay. And while everybody's coming up, let's show the films.
Hi, my name's Sophie. I'm the manager of Cornerstone Day Centre. Alongside Morningstar Supported Accommodation, we've been nominated for the Service User Involving Organisation Award. Morningstar Hostel have recently recruited a whole new staff team where over 50% of those people have lived experience of homelessness themselves. We've also listened to people staying in B&Bs and provided a high-quality supported alternative. At Cornerstone, we've redesigned the service so that we now involve people that use the centre in the design and delivery of it. We've listened to what people want and we've got a brand new activity programme, some of the activities being a women's group, gardening, table tennis and a chess club. We also have a brand new volunteer programme where we really encourage people that are using our service to start volunteering.
You know, it's boosting my confidence, it's making me more healthier, you know, more happier. It's just a privilege to be here and helping people.
I think what makes us unique is how integral we are to the MASH board. We're not just there as like a tick box exercise where we're brought in at the end after any decisions are made. We're there right at the beginning, at the jump. We're shaping what's happening. First and foremost, it's my passion. I think that once you've been empowered by a group of women and you know that feeling, you know what it's like to be lifted up, that really, really puts a fire in my belly to be able to give another woman that opportunity. They all say the same thing, and it's, this was the most enjoyable hour I've had all week. I think getting that kind of feedback consistently tells us that what we've got is really pretty special.
Well done, everybody. Okay, so we're going to go back to the voting now. I think that's all the films done. And, excuse me. So back onto Slido and start voting now. So nominations are Caritas, Cornerstone and Morning Star, MASH and Manchester Deaf Centre. Okay. While everybody's waiting. I think we may have a problem. That's not working. Oh, it's back on. Right. Whatever wasn't working is now back on. That's good. Okay, so I think we should be getting towards a winner now, if it's back on, whatever it was. I am just stalling for time here because I'm trying to make sure that we've got plenty of time because of that delay with the YouTube thing. I'm not going to risk saying anything about old faces again, just in case I upset more people. So I'll stop waffling and hopefully we have a result coming through any moment now. Right, so we've got a result. Martin, do you want to tell us who the winner is?
Sorry everyone for those issues. Out of our control, but you start to panic, don't you? There's only 2 more votes to go, so please hang on in there. Drum roll, please. The winner of the Spirit of Manchester 2022 Service User Involving Organisation is Manchester Deaf Centre.
Well done to Manchester Deaf Centre. Great to see you all again. Fantastic. So, we are actually on to our very last award. I know, we're running comfortably ahead of time. So, this one is about community cohesion. So, bringing communities together has always been an important theme of our work. And unfortunately, the escalation of the sort of toxic attitudes we've seen in recent years shows us that this is something the whole country needs to pay a lot more attention to. I mean, we now have a Home Secretary who proudly tells us of her dreams of putting people on a plane to dump them in Rwanda. That was one of the most appalling things I've ever seen from a British politician. With the emergencies we've seen in Afghanistan, Ukraine and Pakistan in recent months, Manchester has always shown solidarity, support and welcome when it was needed. And we should be proud of that as a city. This award highlights activities which simply bring people together from across more than one community. They can be communities which are about a shared place or a shared culture or a shared identity. And they bring people together to build connections and relationships. And it's a cliche, but it's still important to live together in harmony. Sorry, that's another do-gooder phrase, but hey, that's what it's all about in the end. We celebrate the fact that we've got more in common with each other. So, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the nominees from CAISO and Manchester City of Sanctuary. And let's roll films.
What we realised was in the Moss Side community, a lot of the adults always question what is going on in the community and what is there for young people, but they never visited the youth club that we're at. They never visited the centre powerhouse. We talked about it. I told the young people, look, we need to do something to bring the community together. We thought of a talent night, and we thought, let's get some of these young people performing. Let's invite the community in to come and see these performances at the powerhouse, which is at the centre we're at. And let's change the narrative of this building is there, but it's not there for the young people, which it is. So, and we brought the community together through performing art. So the young people perform, and we had 2 nights of 100+ community members that came separately on those 2 nights. And it really made a difference. It allowed people to see the work that we do in the community, but also we brought people together, which for the young people, you know, hit the nail on the head in terms of community cohesion and bringing everyone together.
At Manchester City Sanctuary, we bring people together from a range of different communities for fun, friendship and for a sense of welcome in a new place. We work with refugees and asylum seekers from around the world and connect them into the wider community of Manchester.
Well, in the workshops we do here at the Whitworth, it really is about giving refugee and asylum seekers a space to create, to talk, to find community. We had workshops led by people in the group, having people's English language develop. Where you come from is important and beautiful.
We also have had a fantastic response to our ladies football group.
When I come here and play football, yeah, I like this activity, like to connect with the people for the different countries. I'm busy, I'm relaxing.
I've seen such great progress in them, from being scared to touch a football to now being so competitive you need to tell them to stop, and it's absolutely amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Voting time again. This is your last chance to vote. So please log on to Slido and start voting now. And just while we're voting, as we're talking about this stuff, I just want to say about some work that's been going on that you may not be aware of. There's coalitions of organisations around Greater Manchester actually working to support the people who've arrived from Afghanistan. So with loads of colleagues, you know, working with people who have been placed in hotels over the last 18 months or so, and people who are arriving from Ukraine. There's fantastic partnership working going on between community organisations to provide that welcome and support from people who are fleeing those horrific situations. So again, just Manchester at its finest. So I think we're nearly there in terms of voting. So this award is supported by Wythenshawe Community Housing Group. We're extremely grateful for their support for this category. But to announce the winner and present the award, we're going to please welcome the Deputy Leader of Manchester City Council and the Exec Member for the VCSE sector, Councillor Joanna Midgley.
Before I present the award, I'm going to say a few words because I'm a politician and I can't resist a microphone. So I just want to say what a fantastic evening it's been. And actually coming up here now, I can see how many people are here because I was sat near the front. It's amazing, just a celebration of everything that is good in Manchester. And I want to say on behalf of the City Council just how much we appreciate and value your work. It's fantastic to work in partnership and collaboration with so many amazing groups. And as has been said a few times through these videos, you bring people together, you bring communities together, you give people a stake, a sense of belonging in their community, and that's amazing. And I think what's really shone through in these videos is not just the serious stuff that you do, which is vital, but also that sense of fun and enjoyment that's come through, which is amazing. So thank you so much, and I'm really honoured to be here. Thank you. And I think, let's have a drum roll. So The winner of the Community Cohesion Award is Manchester City of Sanctuary. Well done.
Fantastic. Well done, City of Sanctuary. Well done, Liz. That's all the votes, all the awards. We are all done. Thank you so much for taking part. I know we've been voting for winners, but I'm sure you'll agree, there's no winners and losers in this. There are so many amazing stories, and that's really what tonight is all about. It's just engaging in those stories. So huge round of applause for everybody who took part, who was nominated, and just beautiful. So amazing. So we're now going to go back to Helen from the Social Media Top Team Update Desk and hear how things are going on social media. Over to you, Helen.
Thank you. So I've got some more messages, thanks to everybody who's been sending them in all evening. So, Manchester Settlement want to thank our amazing pantry team who tirelessly volunteer to serve hundreds of families in Openshaw every week. And thank you to you too for hosting our North Manchester Community Explorer meetings as well. It's a great venue. Message from Mags. So brilliant to see Manchester's integrated partnership teams out celebrating, supporting the work of the VCSE sector. Having had the privilege to work with them, I know they are passionate and committed to developing partnerships to reduce health inequalities. Message from Steve. Thanks to all who voted for me. Volunteer of the Year Award. Very humbled and honoured. We are all winners, and I share the award with all the volunteers at the Imperial War Museum. Jack, what an excellent evening. Very proud of our, so that's the Imperial War Museum, Steve, who was bagged Volunteer of the Year. Much deserved, and well done to all the nominees. There is so much to be grateful for here tonight, which I'm sure we'd all agree with. Adam from the Hideout Youth Zone. So proud of all the team and volunteers that lead our Sunday Club provision, and of course, all our amazing young people. Message from Izzy. Great to join virtually and see the voluntary sector of Manchester being celebrated. Congrats to all who've been nominated. You really do change lives and have such a positive impact on Manchester. Next message from Annie at Manchester Deaf Centre. Thank you to our fantastic BSL interpreters Mark and Craig down the front here for their amazing work. Good luck. Well, you see, you didn't need the luck in the end. A message from Annie at MASH. Gutted to not be at the awards tonight, but watching online. Huge congrats to all the nominees and winners of our amazing voluntary sector. And if you don't mind, the last one is about us, and I promise I didn't write it. So it's a message from Akeem, sitting down the front there. I'm a big supporter of the great work my friend Mike Wild and his team are doing. Well done on another successful award ceremony. Honoured to be in attendance. Well done to all finalists and winners. Well deserved, and thanks for the table features. Thank you. So thanks to everyone who sent messages and my colleagues in the top media team. And by the way, we've already agreed we're going to get our own office and we're going to have a door with a big sign saying top media team on it. So that's Alina, Sophie, Charlotte and Barclay who have been compiling all your messages this evening so I could share them. And I shall hand back to Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen, and thank you, everybody in the top media team. We'll talk about the office plans later. The next thing is Martin is going to draw the prize for the night in from the box, I believe.
I'm not going to draw it. I think a member of the top media team is going to do that. But before we do that, a little bit of an update. Thanks to you all, we've raised £113 through text giving and £342 via the raffle. So thank you very much. Please remember, yet another plug, it's not closed yet. And I'd say your odds, if you think of it, are pretty good in terms of getting a prize. So, yeah, if you can't access your phone, get somebody's at the side as soon as you leave it and put those numbers in. Charge them for it. Can you bring the box over, please? Hannah and Helen. The box there is the mystery prize. Some of you will know exactly what it is because that same mystery prize has appeared for quite a while at Spirit of Manchester Awards. It is a night in. And what that means is you get a voucher for Netflix. I hope you're on Netflix so you can watch whatever you like. Hopefully not that film that I mentioned before that Mike said is a good one, but I've since been told it's very traumatic. Yeah? Jess told me that, didn't you? It's not one for any... So there's that, there's some booze, that's great, isn't it? And snacks. So the idea is you will have a fabulous night in.
Thank Michelle. Michelle brought the night in.
Thank you, Michelle, for buying the night in and putting this fabulous thing together. So, Helen, everybody's been entered into this. Everybody who's at this event today. The winner is, drum roll. Is there a Mark Hetherington? Oh, there you go. Look at that. Worthy winner. Can you get in the box? Well done, Mark. So if any of you lot fancy a night in with Mark, he's the man with the stuff. Well done, Mark. Thank you. I don't know if Mike's going to wrap up, but if he doesn't, I'm assuming he's going to come back. Oh, he's there.
Go on, Martin, what were you going to say?
I'm going to have nightmares about this, aren't I? I just wanted to I'll start by thanking Mike. If you can imagine, at 9 o'clock last night, quite a few of us saw this fabulous message, and there was a picture of a positive COVID test. And to say that there was panic is a bit of an understatement. So the way that he's managed to pull this together, thanks in particular to not just the MAC staff, but the AV team of the venue. I'd say a round of applause to them. I'm pleasantly surprised that it wasn't the disaster that I feared. I hope you agree anyway. But yeah, thanks to Mike yet again for all the work and effort that he puts into this. I hope you've enjoyed the event. I'm sure Mike will do the same, but I definitely want to thank all the staff, the MAC staff, team in particular, Hannah. Hannah is the driving force behind the Spirit of Manchester Award. And then I know that my colleagues are all recognising that because she's put a heck of a lot in. And yeah, congratulations to you. I'd like to thank the catering staff. I'm going to see if I can get everybody in. What a buffet, but I didn't get any of it. Sadly, I missed out on this great food. Definitely like to thank the Mayor for your effort and your speech in particular. And the fact that you've managed to go up and down these steps, yeah. One thing you'll take away is you're a lot fitter. I'd also like to thank the MAC trustees who are out here in force on that table over there, and the trustees who got up and actually spoke. I'll say it, in terms of our fabulous chair, Roger didn't even know until I got him 5-10 minutes before it was about to kick off that he was doing the welcome. So thank you for that, Roger. It's like an Oscar speech, this. I just keep going. And definitely congratulations to everybody who was nominated and the winners, all of you. Yeah, it's clear how much effort that you've put in and the difference you make to Manchester and the communities in Manchester and individuals. So, yeah, again, thank you to you all. And then I'm going to hand over to Mike.
So I want to say a huge thank you to Martin for stepping in and doing so much stuff, because it's about making it all happen on stage and everything, and that this is not an easy task, and I was very, very conscious of the pressure I was putting on people, but you know, we have to keep everybody safe. He's he's thanked a lot of the people I was going to thank, but I'm going to say it anyway. I particularly want to thank my amazing colleagues at MAC. Under Hannah's leadership, they have yet again, for the 10th time, pulled off an amazing event under even more challenges this year, thanks to me throwing in a curveball at the last moment. But yeah, it's such a privilege to work with them, and everybody at MAC contributes to this. It's a real bit of community spirit and team building for all of us, even those who've we've got some colleagues here who've only just joined us in the last few days, and they're all here helping out tonight. Those who aren't here physically present as well, like me, are also chipping in. So shout out to Oliver, who's been helping keep an eye on some of the tax giving stuff at home and everything like that. Everybody has taken part in this. A huge thanks to, like I said before, the tech team and everybody at the venue who looks, it just looks so impressive, and the feedback we're getting about the food and everything is just wonderful. I do want to thank again our Spirit of Manchester judges, because it's a lot of nominations to get through. Everybody who made the films that you've been watching all evening, to Ella who designed the trophies, everybody who nominated or persuaded somebody else to vote, all those supporters, everybody who donated to the raffle, thanks to Akeem who just suddenly popped up on Twitter today and just said, "Oh, I'll bring something tonight." I said, just that kind of thing is just so heartwarming to see. And I absolutely agree, Martin. I just want to say a huge thank you to the Lord Mayor, who I've been watching has just been up and down and running around, making sure everybody gets a photo. It means so much to people. Thank you so much for all your energy into that, Lord Mayor. And thank you to all of you for being there, whether you're in the room or watching on YouTube or sat on a bus, watching as you travel home. Just thank you so much for joining in and helping tell the stories of all the things that we want to share tonight. So much work goes into this event, but so much more is going on every day in our amazing city, as you've seen, as Councillor Midgley said. What we've done is barely scratch the surface of a few examples tonight, but they are so amazing. We will share more stories next year. I've lost count of how many we've shared over the last 10 years of Spirit of Manchester, but there are more to come. And every year we find out about new things we didn't know about. So thank you so much for joining us. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a safe journey home, and good night.